we're talking about the pinnacle of athletes, if hybrid athlete means I can't play sports, then that's not a fair name. You know what I mean? That's not fair.
Welcome to the Coach 'Em Up podcast. I'm Tim Riley. Zach Zillner is not joined with me today. We have no announcements, which is awesome because we have two certified yappers in the building.
Let's go.
Right now.
We're going to take care of it.
We're going to. I want to introduce everybody to Cru Mahoney. Cru, what's up, brother?
Let's go. Man, I'm stoked to be on the pod because I'll say, I guess it was last year when we first met. We were at Collective.
Yes.
And man, we were talking about the tendinopathy stuff.
Yes.
Bro, that was therapy, man. Because nobody realizes, I mean, this is not going to be the topic of today, I'm sure, but nobody realizes how much tendinopathy ruins your freaking life.
Yeah.
And nobody gets it when you have not had that. And we were chatting about it probably for an hour or something. I went, it's the man. Right?
Yeah, it is one of those things like, it's like a lot of things in life. Like if you've never been depressed and you hear someone explaining depression, it's like, why don't you just be happy, idiot?
Yeah,
you know?
Get over it, dude.
Like, have you tried like staring in the sun? You know? Just be better.
Yes.
But also, with tendinitis, tendinopathies, and particularly if you're active, right? And you're hybrid athlete, runner, we're going to get into all that shortly.
Yeah.
I like to train and, do my Peter Pan thing where I pretend to still be an athlete. But I love that shit. Yeah. And enter a tendinopathy, whether it's knee, Achilles, quad tendon in your case, and it takes it away. Or it's so persistent that doing it is no longer as like it takes the enjoyment out of it. Brutal.
Yeah. I mean, when you want huge legs and you go watch God, what's that dude's name? Kill me on the leg extension.
No, I don't know.
Oh, you definitely know. He's a old school bodybuilder, huge legs.
Platz.
Tom Platz.
Kill me.
You go watch a Tom Platz video.
Right.
Man, I was squatting every day at one point. I said, okay, at least a set of 5 with 315, whether it's rest day, arm day, leg day, squatting every day.
Yeah.
Because you see other people do that, but then I would also do legs 3 times a week on top of that because, man, when you're obsessed about something, you just, dude, it's not the work. It's just, your knee stops feeling good. And then you go, oh man, what the heck? And then you watch all of the gurus on, it's your hip internal rotation.
Right.
And then after a while you go, no, it's my knee.
Yeah, it's just my knee.
The thing that hurts is actually what it is. So
no, it has nothing to do with how well my foot. The barefoot shoes aren't going to fix it.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Correct. And I'm a barefoot shoe guy.
Right.
That's not the solution, though.
So since we're on the topic, and then I want to get into, we're going to do a proper introduction.
Yeah.
It's doing better now.
Yeah.
What are the things that have moved the needle for you the most?
This is going to be the least satisfying answer for every person that was in my exact situation.
And to be specific, it was a quad
tendon. Okay. Yeah. Quad tendinopathy, 5, maybe going on 6 years now.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I'm talking, there are times of every step I'm thinking about it.
Yes.
And should I be putting the weight on the front of my foot while I'm walking, or should I walk up the stairs and maybe my lateral glute isn't, bro. I'm talking, I'm in there.
You were in the hole.
and the thing that has helped the most is not giving a shit about it.
Yeah.
Just going, you know what? No, I'm going to hit legs 2 times a week, maybe 3 if I'm feeling it. I'm going to go for the jogs. I'm not going to not play badminton, which is my favorite sport, by the way. We'll get into that too.
Dude.
That is non-sarcastic. I love badminton.
You fuck with badminton.
Hard. Anyways, and I wouldn't play because, the fast change in direction is too much load on the tendon.
That would spike it up. And
bro, stopping all of that shit and just living and doing the thing, thinking about it less, world of difference.
You know who else? So I just recently had someone named David Gray on the podcast. Shout out David. Shout out all of Ireland. You know what I mean?
I follow him.
You do?
Yeah.
So he I had him work with one of my NFL guys who was having a patellar tendinopathy issue. And one of the first questions he asked him was how often he was thinking about it and how often he was just touching it and just kind of massaging it. And he was like, and as he started to question him, the truth came out more and more. He's like, all the time. I think about it all the time and I'm always touching it. And I'm constantly thinking about it. He's like, stop that.
Wow.
Quit fucking thinking about it all the fucking time as best you can.
Yeah.
You know, and then he elaborated. If you want to hear more about that, go check out the episode with David Gray.
There we go.
But I find it fascinating that you arrive at that place on your own.
Yeah.
And here we have, a world-class physio.
Yeah.
So it's one of the most important things that he brings up initially.
I mean, it took 6 years. You know what I mean? Because I'm an overthinker, which I love, by the way. I'm a perfectionist, which I love, by the way. All these things that are demonized, of course, I'm a huge fan, but you still have to refine being that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And again, you're down the freaking rabbit hole. I mean, when Jake Turra is my hero.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I'm going
the admin himself.
And I'm trying to explain the lore behind it to the average person. And I'm going, no. It's about tendinopathy, but it's super deep and shit. Yeah. And you can't. It's so deep and it's the best ever. So
it is the best.
Shout out to him too.
Shout out to Jake. You either understand the admin or you just don't.
That's 100%.
There are peasants and then there are, yes.
Man.
So Cru, you're an overthinker.
Yeah.
You're a perfectionist. You're a hybrid. You're many things.
Yeah.
For those of us who don't know you, can you just give us who is Cru Mahoney and how'd you get here?
Man, that is such a tough one because I'm always wondering what the title should be. Right. Because when you post little Instagram videos, you go, oh, I'm this, and you got to package it up. I mean, I just think a ton. Yeah. I'm obsessive about everything I care about. By quote unquote trade, I'm a mindset coach. So I work with people doing mentorship, build communities, have deep conversations, try and help people build purpose, change their life through knowing why they should change their life. And my whole thing is just honesty, which gets me into trouble plenty. Yeah. But that's who genuine people like, is the person that's honest. And why do you go to a comedy show and you love to hear someone say the thing that you would never say, but man, they're on stage saying that shit. You go, well, there's something cool about that. So I have built my, personality, my mindset, all of these things based on honesty and confidence, because confidence is really the foundation of being able to achieve anything. Mm-hmm. Because first you have to believe you could achieve the thing. Then you have to be disciplined, hardworking. There's nuance to that, of course, but enough to actually do the work to get to that point. And you have to have enough endurance emotionally to be able to do things while you still feel like you're not the person that does the things. So you don't feel like a runner until you've run multiple times. You know what I mean? Yeah. Multiple meaning thousands probably. Yep. And I've run every single morning for, I think today was 2,518 days in a row. So that's my little proof of concept, I guess, when it comes to mindset, discipline, that kind of thing. So
I just want to jump in real quick. For everyone who didn't quite understand the gravity of what Cru just said, he's been running every day. And I mean every single day.
Every day. Yeah.
Since June 13, 2018.
That's it. 17-year-old me.
Wow.
Interesting cat.
Very much so. So why?
Yeah.
That's the first question that comes to mind is what, and when you started off, did you start off knowing that you would be running every day? Like what happened?
Well, I think this concept, I think a lot of people could maybe get something from this because I look at my past self so fondly, right? Because there's an uncertainty and still a willingness to keep doing the thing. So I started the running every day, not to be overly cliche, but because I hated to run. And I thought, man, if I'm more consistent at the thing I hate to do than most people are at anything, including what they like to do, then there's got to be something to that. Because I would hit the gym And, I've got kind of bodybuilding influences when I first started out in kind of the workout world. But then, 3 sets of 10 at 135 for literally everything, you go, it seems like other people are doing some freaking work. You know what I mean? And then you see the Goggins videos, and then you see Jocko, and you see Rogan and all this kind of stuff. And it's funny because the first, I listened to Goggins on Rogan, and I've told this story a bunch of times, so if anyone's heard it, I apologize. But I think it might have been his second time on the show, but it was my first time really listening to someone like that. And he's explaining this thing where he goes, yeah, people always ask me why I run and I hate to do it. And he goes, what do you mean? And his voice kind of got all in that higher register. And I went, yeah. You know what I literally think there were tears in my eyes listening to Goggins. You know what I mean? Which I don't think is usually the response, but I just had always felt like I was alone in kind of well, maybe I should just do the thing that I hate over and over again because that's got to mean something. And then you start to hear people talk about it and you go, oh, this makes sense. You start rationalizing it in your mind and you have these freaking dope ass conversations with yourself. And then somebody asks you about it and you go, well, yeah, David Goggins, and you don't know how to speak.
Yep.
You don't know how to translate what the heck is going on in your mind. And so there's the embodying, which takes forever. And then there's the knowing how to explain it to those around you to the point where they could possibly understand. When the people around you, well, you don't feel good. Don't go run. Yeah. That's ridiculous. You don't have to do this every day. You don't have to be, and you go, I don't know how to explain it to you, but it's going to mean something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's just this whole culmination of if you do it regardless of how you feel, there's predictability built within you for you. Because you ask anybody who their hero is and they go, man, my dad, he came to every single baseball game. My mom, she dropped me off or picked me up from school every single day. My teacher was the funniest person and they're always there. It's the same person shows up every single time. That's what people look to, or that's what people look to someone else as heroic.
Yeah.
And people don't realize they could do that for themselves. If you showed up for the thing every freaking time, you'd look back on 1,000 days of, I don't know, reading for 10 minutes a day, going on a walk every single day, doing something no freaking matter what. And you would go, whoa, that's my hero.
Yeah.
Because my hero is me at day 1 and day 100 and day 400 and 1,000 and 1,500 when stuff was not going well at all. Not at all. And I look back and I go, dude, that guy just kept doing it.
Yeah.
And I keep doing it now, but man, I have so many great friends. You know, we're having this conversation. This is work. You know what I mean? I get to go to Sprint Club after this. I get to do all these great things. It's kind of nice. But then, dude, I was so sad.
Yeah.
I felt like the world controlled me and I was climbing out of that hole. So was that the intro? God. Yeah. Oops.
Well, running for that long, doing anything. And I honestly, side note, I love what you said about being willing to show up in spite of how you feel. Running, in your case, we're talking about a very, this is a very tangible thing, right?
Yeah.
Feet are hitting the pavement.
Yeah.
But I think that opens the door to a broader conversation and can be, I would assume, a powerful lesson regarding what it means to show up the version of yourself on a day-to-day, minute-to-minute basis,
Yeah.
in spite of things going on around you, how you may feel.
You know, I say you should never ignore or run away from the way you feel, but the way you feel is not the driver of your behavior. So the edit I would make to the whole Goggins, stay hard, screw the way you feel, go do it anyways. You can do the same thing. You can run the 100-miler. Run the 100-miler knowing how you feel.
Yeah.
Right? Because people look at drugs and drinking and all this stuff as the negative escape. You can use exercise the same way.
For sure.
If you're not processing what's going on with you. So I think recognizing and doing the processing, bro, that's the deep work.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. You know what I mean? The workout is easy. It really is compared to that stuff.
It's what I'm hearing when you say that is it's accepting that you feel good or bad, as the case may be.
Yep.
Embracing that.
Yeah.
And still doing the thing. So it's not just shutting the door and saying, get fucked. You know, I'm still angry at my dad, or, you know, the boss didn't treat me right.
Into the ice bath.
Exactly. No. It's facing life on those terms and still going forth.
Man, the ice bath is that moment for me every day. Because I've been doing, I think that's been around 800 days, where just every day with travel, I'll find one at some point in the day. If I'm home, it's 5 a.m. ice bath, just no matter what. And it's that moment. That one is the real just, it's existential. You know what I mean? Because your body temperature is low. I mean, it's scary. You think about it now, it's middle of the day, a little ice bath, 3 minutes, nothing.
Yeah, but you're getting in that motherfucker like 5 in the morning, right?
Every time. And you know, that because you brought up before the pod, just the experience of doing something every day.
Yeah.
And the ice bath and run in my morning routine. I mean, that's kind of what people know me for. There's a lot more to that, I definitely think, but that's not even today. That's its own little realm of just, it's a different, I don't even know, a different planet almost, it feels like.
Yeah.
Because that's not, if I go walk in the backyard right now, I go, oh, yeah, ice bath is there, a little sauna, some turf, whatever. When it's 5 in the morning and it's the last thing in the world, you're just, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And you work through it every time. And yeah, man, I mean, processing, knowing how you feel, being honest about it too. I'm an optimist when it comes to the overarching theme of my life, but I'm fine to indulge in pessimism situationally. So I hate this. This person's an idiot. This sucks. I don't want to do this. This is horrible. That kind of stuff, it's fine because I know that when in doubt, zoom out, look at the chart, everything's going up. I'm fine to have a dip and right now and go, fuck this.
The Coach 'em Up podcast has partnered with Eleiko.
Let's go.
Not only is Eleiko found in 85% of Power 5 schools, but they also offer at-home solutions from racks, flooring, rigs, barbells, bumper plates, your favorite accessories like straps and weightlifting belts, you name it, Eleiko's got you covered. Go to eleiko.com/coachemup and get access to the same equipment that they're using in the best facilities with the best athletes on the planet. I love to with the cold plunges. It'll say it. Didn't want to.
Did.
Didn't want to do it. Did.
Yeah, that's my little tag.
I love that. Since 2018, so we're coming up on 7 years.
June
in a month.
Yeah, true.
Obviously, 7 years of life, you change, right? I mean, you grow, things happen, you move new cities, life shows up.
Yeah.
Doing something every day, and we were talking about this before the podcast started. I think there's so much power in showing up and reading the same thing again or doing the same training program at different phases of your life, because you can, the easiest example is like I can read a poem or something that is provoking when I'm 18, and I can read that thing and be like, that shit was dumb.
Yeah.
And I can read that same thing again 4 or 5 years later, and it can bring me to tears. And I can go, my God, I understand it now.
Yeah.
And the power in that is that obviously the words haven't changed. It's like art in the sense where it's me, the perceiver. Yeah. I've changed. Now it means something different. And I say all that to say, running for 7 years, there's been 7 years of versions of who you are and different mindsets at different places, at different plot lines along the journey that's been your life. So can you talk a little bit about the person you were when you started this journey, your relationship with running and how you've grown and changed in parallel to that?
God, man, when I started, we'll say physically first, because that's the easiest. A mile was hard. It was daunting. And now a mile is whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's funny that that's what people are most concerned with. Oh, how do you manage shin splints? Or how do you do this? I'm going, what about just feeling like you hate your whole life and still doing the run? You know what I mean? Shin splints can suck it, man. That's a whole different thing. And, growing up, so around that 17 era and before, school was just the freaking heart of my struggle with life, because I've always been very similar to how I am now. Probably a bit less refined and a bit less capability of explaining what the heck I think. But I'm not that different. There's always been internally something that's been very uniform over the years. And when you're that way, when you have confidence, you know who you are, that's a handicap when you're young, because almost nobody else knows who they are.
Yeah.
And you don't know how other people couldn't know, and you don't know how to navigate nearly anything because you do know. And so what that turned into is I feel like I'm trapped in school every day. Nobody understands me.
Yep.
I need to get out. I mean, I literally, and mind you, I got straight A's and did all the things because I'm not going to exist in this place and just screw off. But man, I missed 30 full days of 6th grade from just crippling anxiety. I would cry every single day of my life. I hated my life. I hated every day. Did not want to go to school. Couldn't do it. Ran away from school one day. That shit was cool. It was pretty dope. But man, separation anxiety from my mom, the whole 9 yards of just the world controls me and I can't do anything. Someone please come save me.
Someone help me.
And that's a bad spot.
Yeah.
It is a bad spot. And, people have much worse. I am not trying to glorify what I went through by any means, but man, that consumed me forever. And it's that mixed with, I actually was confident. You know what I mean? If it was so weird because there was almost an obnoxious nature when I was outside of the environment. I go, I don't need school. I'm going to do this. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to do my own thing. I know who I am. These teachers don't know shit. They were just kids and they went to school and they never left school. They're still there.
Right.
Right. And I had this arrogance about it. And then the carpool lane and no, I can't go. I can't. And bro, that was scary times almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so to go from that to where I am today, I always tell this to people that, I do the mentorship stuff with. I go, that evolution does not make me feel like, oh, I'm the man. It just makes me feel like that amplitude of change is available to every single person. And that's why I share the messages that I do. That's why eventually I started posting things and putting ideas out there. But that wasn't until 4 years of running every single day.
Wow.
I wouldn't post anything. I was literally, I don't even track any of it on Strava even to this day. You know what I mean? I was just doing it. I knew where half a mile was.
Some runner somewhere just heard that and nearly had a stroke.
Yeah. And I think back, I go, damn, how cool would that be to have?
It would be cool.
Yeah.
Sure, to have the data. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But at the same time, screw the tracking and all that kind of stuff, because that is me in the world, existing in my little bubble of, man, this is the heart of nearly everything I've learned. Because if it wasn't directly from it, the next day I'm thinking about it while I'm out there. And I've freaking thrown up mid-run. I've had the injuries. I've had every single emotion you can think of while out on that run. Yeah. And there I am, just sniffling away or
crying, or running.
Yeah, man.
5 a.m.
Or it's great.
Yeah.
And I'm going, wow, man, I can't believe, look at the sunrise and all these kinds of things. I mean, it's almost like I remember every single day and I can't remember a single one at the same time.
Yep.
And the biggest changes are just culminations of little days where you thought nothing improved. And that's across the board.
Man, what you just finished with is, I've had some great mentors in my life. And one of them would say constantly, suddenly isn't actually all of a sudden.
No.
Suddenly, so-and-so got the job, or suddenly someone blew up, or suddenly so-and-so is a good athlete, or well, that's not true. You know what I mean?
Never ever.
It's not all of a sudden. You know, all of that, everything that happens preceding that leads you to that point, and it can appear to be, this light switch moment.
Man, I mean, you can write the longest book in this freaking world, and that would cover nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a big reader. I read Goggins' book, though. It was pretty sweet. And I go, yeah, this was nothing. Zero information compared to what it was like for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, if I could write a book and it just painted the picture of waking up in the morning and 3 years ago, or no, 2 years ago, had my DIY chest freezer in my living room. That's the ice bath, waking up, and it just Tuesday, nothing special is happening today. And I'm standing there, I'm going, I just, sick to your stomach. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. And then what it's like to swing the leg over the thing and step in, you go, oh my God. And you're just fighting it. And then you give in and you're still fighting it. And then you're there the whole time. And that's 3 minutes of one day of thousands of freaking days.
Yeah.
It's just these tiny little moments with yourself that you will never be able to explain to somebody else. Those are the big deal. Yeah. I wish that was the name of the chapters in the book. Because the 100-mile race and all this other shit, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just when it came together and some stars aligned.
Yep.
What happens when the stars are not there?
Right.
No stars.
No stars. Zero. You get 0 stars.
0. Yeah.
Because anyone here listening to this or watching, like, we've all had those moments where we're on the precipice of taking a leap, of doing something we don't want to do, or something that we're not certain is going to work out, right? Oh. And ultimately, that to me is what it really comes down to. It's like, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
It's, I want to ask her for her number, but I don't know. Or it's, oh my God, that water's so fucking cold and I just don't know. Or, I could go do this workout, but, the cat's at home and, new season of Andor just dropped. Fire, by the way. I just want to go ahead and throw that out there. But ad infinitum.
Yeah.
And certainly you've had countless mornings and, experiences. And like, does the thoughts creeping in, or is it like, you've done it long enough, Cru? You've done enough. Like, I know, like, I'm trying to put myself in your seat, and I know the way my brain works. That's where I would go. It's like, why are you still doing it? What do you have to prove? Or have you built up like enough emotional and mental equity at this point that you're able to just, like, is it still as difficult a battle as it was 3 years ago? As it is today?
It's easier now only because, people think that, a social media following and stuff, you have a bunch of people rooting for you and that kind of thing.
You got motherfuckers praying on your downfall too.
Oh, bro. Especially right now. We can get into that. Oh my gosh. It doesn't get easier, I don't think, because it's another day. The purpose builds, though. You know what I mean? When you have a strong enough purpose behind what you're trying to do, then it's more obvious that you should do it. So let's say that I am mathematics, right? Everything equals 1. 1 means I do the thing. It's so much easier to mentally digest. God, I don't have to do any calculations. Plug any number in, as in, give me any emotion, give me any day, give me any circumstance, still equals 1.
Yeah.
Still equals doing the thing. And there's power in that. You have to be careful when you set what 1 means, though, because if it was running a marathon every day, that would be destructive. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It really is important to choose something reasonable that is still hard. Right. And that's where kind of the reasonable nature of things comes into it, or the realistic nature. And that's about priority. That's a hard one. You know, there's a lot of nuance to that, especially when I'm working with somebody. I say, well, don't turn into me. We got enough of that. Turn into you or who you would like to be. But yeah, man, I mean, it's so hard to describe the difference in difficulty.
Yeah.
I think it's just a different experience.
One thing, speaking of experience, in my life, there have been long periods of time, and we'll talk about sobriety at some point. I've been sober, I think it'll be 7 years in June, 6 or 7. I can't remember which year. I'd have to do math in real time, and we're just not going to do that. But
let's go.
You know, there have been long periods of my life where I've been in that place where either consciously or, you know, subconsciously, certainly subconsciously, it was like, things are going to never get better. I'm just hoping something's going to change.
Yeah.
And not being willing to take action, and just the power of taking the next right step, taking some action, regardless of whether it's the right one or anything, just getting the momentum going and taking action, as opposed to ruminating or trying to figure out exactly how things are going to look at the supposed finish line.
Yeah, the emotional attachment to input would be way more productive than the attachment to outcome. Because if you're attached to the input, that's what you have control over. I run every freaking day. The outcome, you don't know. Right? If I was attached to, well, I'm going to run every day because I want to gain a bunch of followers and I want this and that to happen, there's nothing to hold on to there. You know, so it's input over outcome, right? What do I do? What do I show up to every single time? What do I repeat? How do I talk to myself? You know, all of these things are the inputs. That's where you ought to drive some satisfaction from. I can't say that outcomes don't matter. I mean, you're trying to make your life better. But if let's say you're trying to lose weight and you want to lose 50 pounds, every single day in between now and 50 pounds, you're going to feel like you failed if that's the only thing that you care about. But if you went, oh yeah, see, every day in between where I see no difference, this is where it's at. You know, because I'm willing to show up and I don't have the carrot at the end of the stick or whatever the saying is. Right? No prize. Showing up without the prize. I think that's probably the biggest defining factor of successful people, I think.
Yeah. My mind goes to so many things, like, you know, in the coaching space, particularly in like team settings, or anything competitive that requires a plan and sacrifice. It's like being process oriented. Right. Instead of outcome oriented. And again, another mentor of mine said, I'm now in the business of taking action. The outcome's none of my fucking business. Her exact words, right?
That's true.
You show up, you take actions, you show up the version of yourself that you want to be imperfectly, but you show up again the next time you can as best you can. And the things are going to work out if you handle this right here. But that requires, you know, there's this, that requires a certain amount of, and maybe it doesn't require it. Maybe that, I think in my mind, is actually the working definition of what faith has become for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, the knee thing is the same thing, because I would go into the gym every day. And I mean, you know, tendonitis, sometimes you walk in the gym, you go, man, this sucker's fixed. Hell yeah. Let's go.
Full send.
we're getting after it. It's not coming back tomorrow. And then you hit the workout. And the funny part, it doesn't hurt, but then you have to keep going until it does for whatever reason, whatever that is. And then the next day, it hurts again. I've made no progress. Everything sucks. I hate my knee. My body sucks. It's the same thing, right? If I had just stuck to the plan, not gotten too emotional about it, I mean, it's freaking so hard, no matter what you're dealing with, really. But that would have been a lot more productive. But, you know, there was some outcome emotional attachment there.
Yeah.
Feels good. It's a good day.
Yeah.
Hurts, bad day.
Bad day, bad knee.
Just
Life sucks. Fuck
perfect
me.
correlation. Yeah.
Yeah, incredibly relatable. Yeah. So, you run, and you just mentioned you also like to smash some weights. Hey, could you do everyone a favor here? Do us all a favor. Crew.
Yeah.
What is the definition of a hybrid athlete?
Okay. So I don't know how well I'm going to articulate this. It must include some sort of conditioning capability, right? So I'll give it to them. I'll give them the running, right? Also, should probably be jacked a little bit, right? So give them the lifting. The part that everyone misses, you need some skills. And this is what pisses me off a little bit, because if we are only going to stick to the work capacity plane, what are we talking about? So I made a video a while ago about high rocks. Disclaimer, high rocks is great. I love fitness. I love people who do difficult things. High rocks is difficult. This is an incredible sport for people who want to be generally fit. This is incredible for people who want to compete in something. I love people that are healthy. I love people. Okay. Now
that the disclaimer is out.
Now that we've disclaimed, I don't love high rocks because it's a thing, right? It's trendy. It's this big competition. There are professional high rocks athletes. You can win the thing.
Yep.
We're setting times. We got world records, all of this stuff. And I don't see how it's very different from simply running, because the strength implements, are we really talking strength?
Yeah.
No. You know what I mean? It's a 4 million pound sled. Well, the damn thing is on ice skates you know what I mean? It's not a strength-based thing. Again, conditioning, mixing some strength work with cardio, I think it's awesome. CrossFit is way cooler because CrossFit is all of that. Also, the top CrossFit people just go to high rocks and crush it.
Yeah.
Plus Olympic lifting, plus gymnastics, plus freaking swimming, plus all of it, and the skill-based stuff.
You're making me realize that High Rocks is making me miss CrossFit.
Man, I freaking love CrossFit. Let's go. Let's freaking go. I love CrossFit because these freaking, I mean, look, if you judged anything by the way most people do it, you would think it sucks. And that's why CrossFit gets a bad rap, because you go into the average CrossFit gym and you go, what the
fuck's
hell is this?
Here? Yeah.
What are we doing? But look at the people who are good at CrossFit.
Yeah.
Those are some dogs. I don't care what you say.
You're so right.
If you can snatch 315 and do ring muscle ups and all other things.
Yeah, and like swim for fucking 2 miles or whatever it is.
Bro, that is a different thing. And oh man, it just bugs the freaking piss out of me. And I made a video talking about this. I said, if everybody can do a thing, is it really that special? If you hear a song that everybody can play, is it really that good?
Yeah, like no one gets fucking hype or attaboys for singing the alphabet.
Never once, not even backwards. And so I made this video, people get pissed about it, whatever. And out of that, I came up with an analogy, and I said, okay, we'll take the top skateboarders in the world right now. Mm-hmm. If they train for the next 5 years, they could be stupid at running.
Yeah.
Really, really good. They're not going to be winning marathons necessarily, but you could be a monster runner. These skaters, right? Yes. 0 of the top marathoners in the world right now are going to Smith grind a 20-stair rail and land back on that board ever in their life. That's the difference between capacity and skill.
Yeah.
Skills are freaking sick.
Yep.
Because I grew up tumbling. So flips and handstands and all the gymnastic stuff, that's my thing. Mm-hmm. And I love it because it's a different part of your brain. And soccer was another big one. So all the freestyle stuff, I love doing that because this fine motor skill of learning where the ball needs to be on your foot, or the tiny little micro movements in your hands to stay balanced on your hands. All these techniques and the flips and the twisting, and that's so different from work capacity. It's insane.
Yeah.
And the work capacity is what is highlighted with the hybrid thing right now.
Yep.
I want to see someone clean 405.
Yeah.
And then go run the miles, and I'll go, holy shit.
Yeah.
Because who's the guy? Is it Saquon Barkley?
Yes.
That makes me feel bad. That makes me feel like a stupid idiot when I watch that video of him cleaning 405.
And to that point, like, he has that output, and then we've all seen the clip of him doing the reverse hurdle where he literally jumps backward over someone, or he like literally he's just like it looks like someone like mixed in Barry Sanders DNA when he was still in the womb, like the way he can shake people and just make them look stupid. Unbelievable.
I mean, I just, that is so different to me.
Yeah.
And given, some of these football, college, gym cleans are not the most technically sound, I don't give a damn, dude.
Yeah, 405's 405,
that's
brother.
405 pounds. That's so heavy.
It's the heaviest.
That's heavy to pick up. Deadlift. That's a heavy deadlift, bro.
Yes.
And I just, you look at these top weightlifters, Olympic lifting, obviously, and to pull weight over your head, the timing, the mobility, it's just skill.
Yeah.
I think skill is cool. So people don't like to hear that because it sounds like I'm just shitting on a thing that's great for the public. And
For general fitness and general health.
yeah, it's great.
It's great for all that.
It really is. But when we're talking about the pinnacle of athletes,
Yeah.
if you're going to say I'm a hybrid athlete, you better get good at something.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Athlete does in and of itself insinuate proficiency at something.
Yeah, because I mean,
right?
If hybrid athlete means I can't play sports, then that's not a fair name. You know what I mean? That's not fair.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's a good take. Zach, what's the best training app on the planet?
It has to be Train Heroic. Gone are the days of sending the old crusty PDF. Now we have a sleek new app.
It's easy to use. There's videos with descriptions. You get to track and log your weight, your reps. There's a community chat function. You can submit videos. You can get feedback.
How about the leaderboard, Tim?
I started using Train Heroic first as an athlete and someone who wanted to learn. Now I use it as a coach. Athletes and other coaches can go and be a part of my training community and get results.
Whether you're an athlete, coach, or just like to train, use the link in our description to find out how you can train on the best app in the world.
And join us on Train Heroic today.
The Coach 'em Up podcast is sponsored by Squat Wedgies. Tim, what are Squat Wedgies?
Squat wedgies are an adjustable squat wedge, 7, 13, and 20 degrees.
It's big enough to elevate your whole foot and not just your heel.
Because it's rubber, it doesn't slide on surfaces.
It's 22 pounds, so it's durable and stable enough for even your biggest athletes.
There's a 90-day risk-free trial. The shipping is free, and
get 15% off Squat Wedgies with our discount code CoachEmUp15.
Coach 'em Up 15 for 15% off of the best squat wedge on the planet. My platform's grown. Your platform has grown. There's two sides to being a content creator and having a large platform, right? Like, there's the thing that I think like most people see, and at least the ones who are interested in doing something like that say, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How cool.
Right.
But you alluded to it, and I actually haven't seen the post or anything.
Okay.
You share your opinion on why, like, yeah, like maybe just all output like actually isn't that special.
Yeah.
And you get buried. You know what I mean? So is that what's happened? Did you hit a beehive?
Oh man, I hit the worst one you could possibly hit, and it wasn't in regards to this at all.
It wasn't.
No. So
I thought it was about that post you were just talking about.
No,
okay.
No. So this is a freaking big one. On Instagram, not so much, but TikTok has just, I don't even look. I've probably lost thousands of followers. I don't who knows? I don't care. Whatever. So I'm a big advocate of kind of the looking up, looking around, observing, knowing the environment that you're in, making eye contact with somebody, speaking, communication. I'm not anti-phone. I'm anti this.
Right.
Where your head is just 90 degrees down. I'm anti-mindlessness.
Yep.
Anyways, I go on walks here and there. I was going around the neighborhood and this girl's walking towards me. And, just in the neighborhood, I kind of, hey, how's it going? Just walking by, kind of cordial, being nice to people sort of thing.
Yes.
This girl, I'll basically just explain. This is what I say in the video, basically. Okay. She's got sunglasses on. She's wearing AirPods. She's got her phone out, and she's holding it sideways too. So I kind of made a joke about that. Mm-hmm. And we're kind of crossing paths. She doesn't have to say anything, of course.
Right.
But, I'm walking by, and it's just a hard turn down to the side and just, don't look at me kind of thing. And I go, okay. Yeah. I didn't say anything, didn't do anything, obviously. Sure. Just kept on walking by. So I made a video. I go, guys, are we not even people anymore? What are we doing? I mean, I'm walking by this girl. She's got the whole thing. She's got her phone in landscape mode, and I turned my phone. It was kind of funny. I'm going, look, there is something to communicating. I mean, can we not see a neighbor and just do a how's it going kind of thing? Because and I go on in another video explaining this. If you can't observe your surroundings, right? If you don't have that ability to interact with your environment, that's actually bad, right? So after this first video, every person in the freaking TikTok world apparently has said that I'm a creep and my ego got hurt because, this
because she didn't respond.
Yes, because this woman didn't acknowledge me. Would I say the same thing if it was a man? And I mean, vicious.
Yes.
I'm getting coaching applications, first name, kill yourself.
Jesus.
All this stuff, right? And I'm not going to sit here and act, oh, it doesn't freaking matter to me, whatever. I mean, you take everything in.
Yeah.
You process, again, not running away from the emotions, all that kind of stuff. But I mean, vicious. And so I go on TikTok and I squint to, post my thing. I get out of there. I go, get out of here. I already know what you guys are saying. I don't need to flood my mind with it. I mean, there's someone, she claimed to be the person.
Oh, no way.
Just straight up not.
Right.
Girl was brunette. She's blonde. Nope, not the one. But I mean, it's gone where it's gone.
What it is fascinating to me, the phenomenon on social media where it's like, it reminds me a lot of traffic.
Yeah.
Where, in traffic, for example, I was in traffic the other day and I went to merge to get over and blinker on, all this. And for whatever reason, the person who saw that I was trying to get over apparently was mad, but like sped
Hell
up.
No, you're not getting over.
You're not getting in front of me, motherfucker.
Exactly.
And not only that, swerved at me as if to like let me know, like motherfucker, I'm
my lane.
This is my lane. You know what I mean? And I started laughing and then naturally and it couldn't be more perfect, where at the very next red light, we end up right next to each other. And I look over, and I'm not going to go into the detail about the person or what they look like or anything, but trust me when I say, it's not someone, had they been outside of their vehicle, who would have acted that way towards me, or probably anyone else for that matter.
No, we know what they looked like.
And and so it's like, it's like, I started laughing. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
It's, and I think it kind of touches on exactly precisely what you were trying to get at in the first place, where when we lose this ability to connect and we lose this ability to recognize that I'm a human being, you're a human being, and we're all just trying to figure this thing out together, it creates a space where, for whatever reason, you think it's okay to swerve into someone's lane as if to intimidate them and let them know I'll hit you with my fucking car if you try and merge, you piece of shit.
Yeah, yeah. And I've said it a handful of times, but the creep accusations and all this kind of stuff and harassment and whatever and not being safe, Do you want to know what creates the people that do that?
People that are isolated and fucking they're weird, and then they get weirder, and then you get weirder because you're not around people and you're weird, and then you get weirder because now you're even more away from people, and now you're super fucking weird.
And the phone is the savior, right? And man, it's just people who have nothing.
Yeah,
they will see that and they go, "Here's my cause."
Yeah,
I hate this guy.
Yeah.
With the mustache and the stupid freaking
motherfucker.
Just everything.
This motherfucker's been running forever with this big platform. I'm gonna fucking bury him.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Fuck yeah.
And here we are.
Here we are, baby.
Yeah, you walk outside and it's all the same. Hit the gym, everyone's awesome. Yeah. Call up the friends, everyone's cool. Real life is awesome.
Yep.
And then you go on the China app and whoa.
Getting ripped to shreds. Hell yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hey, you talked about real life being awesome. Mm-hmm. And when we met, this is about a year ago.
Yeah.
You hadn't moved to Austin yet.
That's right.
Okay. So you were like deliberating and it was like, if I recall, you were like, I think this is kind of where I'm headed.
Yeah.
Like it feels right.
I just went, what the hell? Why is everything dope?
Yeah. I mean, it is awesome. Yeah. I don't want to, my poor listeners, this always happens where I end up talking about how awesome Austin is. And then I'm just the guy podcasting being like, Austin, Texas.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry. But it is awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you've moved here and it's been really special. And not even being in like your immediate bubble, man, but just seeing you impact other people that I'm also friends with on Instagram, and then like what you've been able to do with your time here has been fucking inspiring. It's been inspiring. Man. You're going to the Tough Sprint Club, which by the way, not a run club.
No.
It's a sprint club.
Sprint club.
Okay? They go to a local track, they do a dynamic warm-up, and they sprint. Legit sprint. They're racing. It's awesome.
Yep.
And I've watched it grow from just like a few people to them like coming up with the name to now. Yeah. I mean, what's the biggest group that you've had there? Have you tallied it? Because it looks large.
Yeah, 3 weeks ago, I think we had 65 people come out. So, I mean, man,
that was one of the few things in a long time I saw you do that, and I was like, I wish I'd thought of that.
Yeah.
I did.
I mean, you're the guy, you know what I mean?
I thought of it first. I said, I'm sorry, I wish I had thought of it first, because I was like, how fucking cool of an idea is that?
Man, it's sweet. You got to come to one.
I would love to. Yeah, I will.
100%.
Luke, our mutual friend, cheat code legend. Luke has invited me out a couple of times, and I've always got an excuse. You know,
that's all right.
I'll be out there though.
I
love it.
It's raining today. We're still gonna pull
ripping.
Up, so
let's go.
Yeah.
So okay, the reason I bring that up is, I think a lot of people can move to a city like Austin and spend a year and not really still know anyone and kind of get lost in the shuffle. And for you, it's been the opposite, where not only have you built clearly powerful and genuine friendships.
Yeah, big time.
Close bonds with people.
Yeah.
But you've built an entire community up around you, and the community that I'm assuming you were seeking when you came here.
Man, I will say this, where I grew up, Raleigh, North Carolina, beautiful, love it, awesome place to grow up. And there's just not that. And I'll say yet because I think it's growing. A lot of people move there. It's just very, corporate-y and then university funnel, and it's just college sports and drinking and whatnot, which whatever. But I was such a heavy contrast. Man, it would be Saturday. It's beautiful out, and I'm just at home working because no one wants to do all this stuff unless it's a, beer and then insert activity.
Right.
And to be able to come here, use the social media side of things to just bring people out to something and then actually build real connections. Because, I mean, man, I had 300,000 followers on Instagram and 3 friends at one point. And to see that change now, I am stoked. I mean, life tangibly got better by a long shot. And again, this is not a sales pitch. It's just to have people show up to something. First Tough Sprint Club, I think it was 15. I went, man, are you kidding me? This is so cool.
Yeah.
You know, and then eventually it's 40 and then 65 and I'm running the thing. And in my mind I go, God, public speaking would be rough. And then I'll find myself going, oh wait, I'm talking to 60 people right now.
Every Tuesday night.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going, this is so nuts. And man, I have met so many interesting people, so many people that are supportive of what I do. I care so much about them. I love talking to people, as you can tell. I mean, man, I am stoked. I am seriously stoked on that part of life improving, because I think there are a lot of people that haven't done the work on themselves in this world.
Yep.
And then there are a lot of people that have done so much work on themselves and they can't find understanding, they can't find connection, they can't find anything. And they're going, I feel like I'm a good person. Why do I not have friends? Why do I not have people around me? What is wrong with me? Why am I X, Y, and Z? And nobody seems to care. That's a hard feeling. And when you build that up, there is value in that. Because all I did was change my environment and life flipped.
Yep.
Flipped.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, I'm just grateful to be able to move here, first of all, myself, have the foundation to be able to bring 3 of my friends along with me. You know what I mean? 2 of them being my videographer and my editor. we all live together, and Luke and Sarah.
So cool.
You know what I mean? And it's just, man, I feel lucky.
Yeah.
Big time.
Cru, we kind of joked about this before we started about how quick this would go, because
I know
we're, we could go for 3 hours, but so we've got about 5 minutes left. We've got some segments.
Yeah.
Let's just do like a rapid fire situation. We'll knock them out, and then you've got to go sprint.
I got to go sprint.
All right, brother. So this segment is called 3 Things. It's brought to you by Squat Wedgies. Use code CoachEmUp15 for 15% off. Best squat wedgies you'll ever use. Squat wedges from Squat Wedgies. So this is 3 things. What are 3 things? And let's speak back to 17-year-old you, the 17-year-old version of you that's like, man, like this ain't it.
Yep.
I want to start showing up for myself. What are 3 attitudes, actions, ideas that someone can start taking, using, or implementing to change where they're at?
A daily thing, a daily non-negotiable. And non-negotiable means you do not negotiate. Make sure that you can do it. Any circumstance you can come up with that on that day you could still do the thing, and then you don't negotiate. If it's reading 10 pages of a book, awesome. If it's running a mile, awesome. If it's 50 push-ups, awesome. Something that absolutely cannot be negotiated. That's the heart of it. Man, there are so many healthy things that you can do out there. But again, along the same lines, do not ignore your emotions. Just don't let them be the driver of your behavior. That would be a massive takeaway. And honesty. Never, ever. You don't have to tell everyone else exactly what you think. You'll probably get into some trouble.
Yep.
But find the people, even if that's just yourself, that you can be fully honest with. Do not hold back from being fully honest. If you feel a certain way, explain it out to yourself. Write it out, whatever you need to do. Know how you feel.
Yeah.
And then move from there. Do not run away from that.
God, that's 3 really fucking good pieces of advice. Dude, you nailed that. Okay. This segment is called Rant and Rave. Okay. This is also brought to you by Train Heroic. I use Train Heroic. Zach uses it. It's great. It's also in the show notes. Rant. What is something that you're seeing in the fitness or social media landscape at large that you're like, this ain't it, want to see less of it?
Oh.
And then we're going to go to Rave. Something you're seeing, you're like, I fuck with that.
Damn.
I know.
That is such a tough one. Something I hate. Yeah. I mean, I'll just go back to the phone thing.
Yeah.
The mindlessness, the looking down, the not being able to have social posture And what was the word? I used a word for something. Social hygiene. Okay, the lack of social hygiene. And this obviously is involved with social media and all those kinds of things. But if you don't know how to look at your phone and listen to somebody while you're doing so, problem.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to use your peripheral vision to observe things and pay attention, problem. Right? I mean, these tiny little details of knowing your surroundings and your environment, I am so big on that. We could go another hour and I could just talk about that. But yeah, I mean, that's not the best answer, but it was the best thing I could think of. So that's my rant.
That's a good rant.
We'll go with that.
And then let's bring it around full circle. Rave.
Yep.
What's something that you see that you're like, hell yeah?
Yeah, just the raw content of people just talking. Because I'm a huge cinematography, how things look, branded, well-packaged kind of guy. And that's not really the way to go on short form and long form in some cases. But people being able to connect with just here's what I think.
Yeah.
And practicing. Well, so do you know Higher Up Wellness?
No.
Michael Smoke. He's a friend of mine, really big in the health and wellness space. He's a huge advocate of public speaking, as in just practicing speaking. So he started a thing where people get on every day and they speak for 60 seconds just to sharpen that skill of talking.
Wow.
I love that. I love
Epic.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Last segment.
Okay.
This is called Unsolicited Advice. This is brought to you by Aleco. Big announcement. By the way, use code CoachEmUp10 to save 10% off every Aleco product.
What?
Every single Aleco product. Use CoachEmUp10 and you will save. But you have to enter in the code. You can't just click our link. You have to enter in the code. But barbells, fucking bumper plates, belts, wraps, you name it. If Aleco sells it, you get 10% off. Just saying. How crazy is that?
I'm not just reacting for the sake of the pod. What? Dude, Aleco, that's a dope ass partnership, bro.
I say it on every show. I cannot believe they sponsor us.
Damn.
But
All right.
I am so grateful that they do.
Let's go.
Okay, solicited advice.
Okay.
After the sprint club tonight, you're going to be wrapping up, shaking hands, doing your thing. You're getting ready to leave, and you notice someone walking off, and you guys are walking, and then you kind of end up like awkwardly walking by one another because you're both heading to the same place. You parked at the same place, and it's kind of quiet. However, you are convicted. You feel as though you have to share this bit of information, this bit of advice to this person, and you just know you have to do it. What would that one piece of advice be?
Put your head down and look at your phone before I start talking to you. God, man, that is a tough one again. I don't know if this is super applicable to that painted out scenario there. Learn how to communicate what you think.
Yeah.
That is just, I think that is such the biggest confidence builder ever. That's what I think learning how to communicate really is, because when you feel a certain way and then you can sit in front of somebody and say, boom, this is why I think this.
Yes.
Here's what I think. These are my thoughts. These are my ideas. Boom, boom, boom. And you knock it out. Superpower.
Yeah.
Superpower for your confidence. So, I don't know if that would work for just the random, hey, learn to communicate what you think. But
I think that fucking rocks.
Let's go.
That's a really good one.
Okay.
Okay. We got to get Cru out of here. What a fucking powerhouse of a show, dude.
Yeah, let's do it again, Rob.
We should.
Yeah.
And we shall.
Yeah.
I will also take you up on the Sprint Club invitation. It has to happen now. Everybody who's still listening and watching, thank you so much. Remember, there's two kind of people on this planet Earth. There are subscribers and non-subscribers. You know which one to pick. We will see you guys next time. We love you and appreciate you. Bye.
Let's go.